The Vive is still expensive. Like, for your average person, not everybody's got, like... What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm vaping. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're like, dude. Oh, what is that? What is that?
That's so funny. So usually when I go into VRChat, I don't really think a whole lot in general, but this time I happened to get in a bit of a different situation. This guy right here was in the middle of talking about his opinions on life, and well, I happened to get involved and we had a rather interesting discussion. So consider this video your challenge of the day. Can you spend at least 15 minutes watching this video? Pay attention to our conversation and write your opinions in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about it. Also, leave a like and subscribe, okay? Like, yo, give me the bro. Like, what's going on, you guys?
No, hey, what's happening, nigga? I definitely did not.
Yo, what's poppin'? This is a terrible Shaggy impression. What are you guys up to?
Well, everything shit, like, dude. I literally skipped out on school and everything, and I make so much more money than like people who like don't go to school.
Tell me more about that.
Education is so shitty in U.S. Like, it's so bad. It's
why?
Like, government's way. It's government's way to make money, dude.
Wow.
Have you not seen how like money, education goes up every single year? Money goes up more and more and more when it comes to like finances, books, like education, you know, loans, everything, you know. You might as well get your own shit, you know, get money and do your own shit, because education, unless you have a specialized thing, you're just not gonna really see it.
So, what would you say would be the major flaws in the education system in the U.S., in your opinion?
So many, like, for instance, like, okay, if you look at the majority of people who go to school in America, business degree is literally like the biggest thing you have. Everybody has one. What can you do with it? What sets you apart in 2019 versus like 20 years ago when you had a business degree? Like, everybody, like, now when you have a business degree, like, you can't really do too much. You don't really set yourself apart from everyone else. Everybody who's gone to school, went to school, paid all this money, and then, you know, you don't really, you know, do something with it. So many people get the degrees and, you know, spend 2 years, 4 years in college, and they're still working at JCPenney, like Forever 21. They're working at the mall, like.
Well, I mean, like, what is a degree, right? Like, when you go to school, I mean, when you work hard and get a degree, I mean, really all it is just a sheet of paper saying, hey, you committed to a degree.
So much time to be able to do this.
Yeah, and like, the thing is, too, you know, in Canada, it's pretty much the same thing, because the U.S. and the Canada
I'm from Canada, bro.
Oh, bro, you're from Oh, dude.
Toronto, Ontario.
Oh, dude, I lived in Toronto for 3 years. High five, man.
Bro.
Nice, yeah.
Like,
right,
that's what I'm saying.
dude.
Like, I'm
I
like,
used to
dude, I'm like,
Drake. I
dude,
used to
don't
listen
get me
to
wrong.
Drake.
Don't give me that North American, like, you know, education, bro. I'm from Canada now.
Bro, I listen to
I'm not
Drake,
retarded.
Bro, I listen to
I used to listen to Drake. You
Bro.
listen to Drake?
Nah, dude, Drake is shit,
I listen
bro.
to Drake. I listen
Drake
to Roy
sucks.
Wood.
Dude,
You know?
dude.
Roy Woods, I like Roy Woods.
She say, do you love me? I tell her only partly. Hey, I know Drake. I listen to Drake.
Dude, I
Yeah, me
hate
too, bro.
Drake, man.
Have a Drake listening party on Valentine's Day. I'm always
I'm
alone.
gonna both you got. No, I'm joking.
Now you.
I'm
Hold on.
joking.
Hold on. So hold on. Back to the school stuff though, because
Yeah.
like it's interesting because I'm actually attending university for a business degree, but it's not because I want to. It's because
Here in the
that's what.
States or what?
No, in America or in Canada, because.
Okay, that's different. That's different. I'm saying, like, business degrees here don't mean shit. Everywhere else, that's fine.
Well, is it fine though? I mean, like, it's a different economy, and Canada and America are two different places, right? They're kind of similar, but like
They're
I think
similar, but a little bit different.
there is differences. But hold on. Let's step over here, because like these people are. I get distracted easily. Okay.
No, dude. I have ADHD, dude. I know the feeling.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, I'm attending university to get a business degree, but it's not necessarily that I want to. It's just that, like, in society, that's what it demands. But like, as somebody who's worked online, and you know, somebody who, I mean, we're living in a. I don't want to frighten you, but you have a twin behind you. Are you aware of this?
My brother. That's my brother. That's my brother. Yeah.
Oh, what's up, guys? Cool. All right. So, but like, it's just really interesting because like we're living in a time now where we're kind of transitioning, and I think that not a lot of people realize that this transition to the online world is happening so quickly that it's starting to open up new opportunities. But in a way, it's kind of also. It's also kind of taking away opportunity. It's closing.
Yes,
it's a window.
it is. It is.
It's a window that's closing because corporations and you know, Hollywood and all these big companies are starting to realize that their reign is expiring and they need to change their ways.
It's short-lived. Yes.
It's short, but they have all the money and the
Everything's
power,
changing.
and it is. But the thing is that society. I mean, look at like YouTube right now. YouTube's changing. Hollywood is changing. I mean, look at us. We're in VR.
Everything.
We're in VR right now.
Dude, this is 2019, bro.
Like this is crazy. I mean, this was like a fantasy 10 years ago.
Back in 1980, no, it was like 1982. I think there was like some like well.
Yeah, well there you go. Like back in the 80s.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, like back in the 80s. I mean, look at, we're living in this time now. I mean, like,
this is actually reality, and this was like something that they said that would be like, well, you have to pay a lot of money. Like, this is shit. It's like in your home, in your bedroom.
Yeah, like I'm in my room right now.
$200.
Oh no, this is a lot more than $200. This is like $800.
Well, I mean, mixed reality. I mean, you know, when
Oh yeah.
It's still a lot cheaper than having to go rent out a big ass square and, you know, having to like huge computational thing that they never thought was gonna be available in your own home, you know. So it's a step in the right direction.
Well, it's kind of like
And
this.
800 now is like less than 200 back then. So
well, I mean, when VR, I really believe that virtual reality is going to become much bigger when virtual reality is cheaper, because the Vive is still expensive. Like for your average person, not everybody's got like. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm vaping. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're like, dude. Oh, what is that? What is that?
That's so funny. That's so funny. You just because your character's just like. I'm like, are you just like snorting coke or something right now? Like. That's funny.
Oh, dude. Yeah, definitely not doing no coke. But
Hold on.
that's
Hold on.
Oh, whoa.
Sorry, I'm over here. People are loud.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Everybody's like kind of just running by. I'm so sorry. But yeah, dude, like it's so interesting how like the world's like so evolving like so quick in that aspect.
It is, and I think that, you know, the sooner people realize that they have a small window of opportunity to take their passion, bring it to the internet, and show the world what they got, the sooner they can start living a dream they didn't realize they could live.
Dude, 1,000%. Look at Elon Musk. Look at like certain different people who like took that shit to the next level. Like,
even
now
Thanos
is your
is here
opportunity.
listening. Look at this. Even
Indeed.
Thanos. We've got Thanos
Oh, wait, hold
interested
on.
too.
Lift
Listen,
your glove up.
Yeah, look at that. Snap the finger. Snap the
Doesn't really
finger.
work
Just kidding.
anymore.
Just kidding. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
But
I
look-
don't want to get.
But look, you know,
snap.
look. I make YouTube videos. I've been doing this for a while. You know, it's changed my life, and I think it's really interesting you bring up this conversation because I don't
Yeah.
think it's bad. I don't think it's wrong for people to get an education. I think it's good. I think people need to be educated.
No,
but
no,
I think
education is good. I'm
it
never
is-
saying anything against it.
No, and I know that, but I think it's just kind of like education is rigged. It is rigged. It is a business. People
It's a
are paying more
financial-
money. It's yeah. But like you get little gain out of the money you spend, and people get in debt all the time, and it's pretty terrible. But that's just how it is, right? That's just how society has developed.
I mean, dude, the thing that sucks about society, look at like people who like get famous off of the dumbest shit you could ever imagine. I mean, like something viral that's like that shows humanity is going down the drain, and they blow up and get like millions of followers. It's like, dude, is this who you want to be leading?
I think it's really interesting you bring that up because we are living in a weird time now where it seems like society has shifted to entertainment. Because when you look 100 years ago, entertainment wasn't really a thing. People didn't care.
It was not a thing.
It wasn't a thing.
Theater
but it was
and all that
another
stuff was
time.
like little.
Yeah, back then it was like what was the industrial industry. So people were living in this time where it was like help society. We're you know what I mean? But now we're like in a new phase where entertainment is like the peak of human civilization and society, and that's where you can get all the money and the fame and the glory and the yada yada yada. Just kind of like imagine like 100 years from now where entertainment is no longer a thing. Entertainment is so oversaturated. It's like going out and getting a coffee every morning. It's just everywhere. And then something new. Yeah, and then something new happens. Like imagine if 100 years from now virtual reality is everything. Like imagine if everybody was in their homes, and this is kind of sad.
And they're plugged in.
Yeah, and they're plugged. It's kind of sad.
Everyone's plugged in.
It is sad, and you know the thing is that we aren't evolving fast enough with this technology, because sitting around on your ass all day and playing games is still unhealthy, because like our bodies evolved on survival, and we're not being chased by lions anymore. But here we are, you know, I'm sat down playing VR. There's people who play virtual reality every day.
Eating pizza, drinking a beer.
Yeah,
you know.
eating pizza, you know. No one's leaving their house. No one's exercising. Like Scoob. Nobody's exercising. Like, hold on. Like.
Dude, I'm adding you, bro. I fucking love you.
Bro, like, thanks, man. Like, I'm just trying to be real. I'm just trying to be a real guy, you know. But, hold on, let me just turn this off. But no, like, straight up, man, you know, it's an interesting conversation. It's an interesting topic.
100%.
I'm kind of glad I came in here and caught you, because I think it's just interesting to talk about this. But, so do you got, like, any final thoughts on, I guess, just the education, like, I guess just society now where it's going? Like, do you have, like, a final thought on it?
I mean, I feel like specialization and like schooling and everything is like still always gonna be like a really good thing. It's gonna be implemented like really well. Like when you come to like doctors and like, you know, different like things, like when you come to like archaeologists, like not archaeologists, architects, like certain things are always gonna be like, you know, really well paid off when it comes to like going to school. Like certain degrees, not so much. You will always see like, you know, different outliers. Like for instance, like you'll have like somebody who went to this one business degree or this one doctor or whatever who made like so much more money than what they, you know, where they should be. So I mean, I feel like school will always be a great thing. Education will never ever be a negative thing. But here in America, I feel like it's so much more just like it's used as like a financial burden on people. Like so many people get like loans and they like spend so much money, and then they never get the return on investment. They spend all this money, they're like $80,000, $150,000 in debt, and then like by the time they pay that shit off, it's like they're just finally catching up on life. They're still in debt. They still have like a credit score for like, you know, 500 and some change. Like that in America is just, that's so horrible.
It is. I also think it's kind of scary because we're in like a what's it called? An information war. Because, I mean, you look at people who don't believe in vaccinations. You're looking at people who don't believe in these things that are actually impacting society. You know, we're seeing division. You know, Facebook's responsible for communities being created that are negatively impacting
Facebook
society.
Facebook is fucked up so
it is.
much.
It is,
oh
but you
God.
gotta... It isn't just Facebook, though, because, I mean, people are doing this, and people are,
it's social
you know...
media.
It's not just social media. I think it's just the fact that people are getting too comfortable. People are getting too comfortable in their homes, and their really messed up ideologies are starting to leak online, and they're just finding echo chambers rather than having people come up to me and be like, hey, stop thinking that way, because that's really bad. Like, you shouldn't be thinking that way.
Yeah.
Like look at the racists of the world, you know? Like, I mean, we're living in a time now where, like, if you're racist, you can find other racist people online, and you can all be friends.
And then you can join them and make a whole, like, clan in the group.
And then,
Have you heard
yeah.
of, like, Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing.
Have you heard of, like, the, I think it's called the Google Theorem or Google Theory, whatever it's called. Like, there's this thing, like, okay, so, like, I'm a 90s kid. I was born, like, on the cusp of, like, 89, 90. So, I'm a 90s kid.
I'm 92.
Like, literally
I'm
a couple
92.
days. And if you remember, like, when we used to go to school, we used to go, like, remember encyclopedias? Every year you'd have to like go, like if you had a project or whatever, you have to like go through the encyclopedia, you have to read it, you have to go like cite the encyclopedia, the year, the definition, the blah blah blah. Like nowadays it's like you don't have to have all that base knowledge in your mind. You don't have to remember the 50 presidents, the 50 states. Like you don't have to remember like so many things. Like people are just so used to like, oh, what is this? Oh, hold on, let me pull up my phone, let me just Google it. Like, and it's literally like a thing now where it's like people don't have that that back storage of like where you can just have all this data. I remember this statistic, this fact, this whatever. People are just so used to just having that temporary storage where what, I don't know that, let me Google it. And they're saying that that's actually not necessarily a bad thing because it leaves your brain more open to learning new things where you don't have to like have a back catalog of like this data, blah blah blah.
But I mean, you gotta also look at the cons to that, right? Because it is definitely it's great that we have technology at our fingertips and information and knowledge. However, there's misinformation all over the place. Back in the day, if you wanted information, you had to go to a book, and a book was certified by so many people, professionals,
scientists,
facts. But now it's like anyone could just write a blog about their opinion.
Will Smith died this morning.
Yeah, like anybody can just find it.
And people go haywire.
Exactly. And like the thing is too, you also got to realize that having all this knowledge at our fingertips is causing problems because excuse you. Because the thing is like people, why do you think anxiety and depression are so prevalent right now? Like why do you think every person is so anxious and so depressed? Like we are literally overstimulating our brains with information.
So much dopamine.
With dopamine, our brains can only produce so much dopamine a day. So the more, yeah, we're having a very serious conversation. So like the more you go on social.
About gaming shoes.
What?
Whoa.
I was listening along, dude. Yeah, just carry on with your conversation.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's a little
bit,
you like
happy feet?
Creepy.
What? Wait, what? What's creepy? What?
Happy feet gamer.
You don't see him like humping the penguin?
Oh, he's humping the penguin?
Or he's like beating his right hand against where his crotch should be.
Oh, that's weird. That's so
do you want to
weird.
find the avatar? I'll give it to you.
Just seeing someone just like. That's so funny.
Well,
but just
what's
that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can give you this avatar if you want it.
Oh,
No, I'm joking.
Wait. So
Why
wait,
don't
you
want
Teeny is Teeny, right? Have you been listening? Have you been listening to us the whole time?
Yes, I have.
So what's your opinion?
My opinion?
What's your opinion?
Yeah, what's your opinion?
My opinion? Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like from America, so I don't know a lot about how things go in America.
What is that
to be
accent?
honest.
I love her accent. She's
Keep going. Keep going.
Can you say?
She's beautiful.
Can you say Vertex has
Oh my god, guys. so
big
so
gaming?
beautiful.
Vertex has big gaming shoes.
Jeez.
Vertex.
Ignore them. Ignore them. Just get on with your opinion. So your opinion, you're not from America, but like where do you think society is going?
Well, I think it's actually like I don't know, not going so well.
Yeah.
No. Well, like, here's the thing. Like, I think people are getting way too obsessed with this whole online internet fame thing, and I think that people are not taking proper action to actually, secure themselves. And I think it's kind of sad because everybody's living this life of like, oh, I want to be famous, I want to be rich, I want to have all these Instagram followers.
I want to be internet famous.
Yeah, but it's like oversaturated as hell, right? Like everyone, like YouTube is so oversaturated now that like, I used to have kids come up to me and be like, oh my god, I want to be a YouTuber. And I used to like,
and everybody's like, now I'm a YouTuber.
Well, yeah, everybody wants to be a YouTuber, but hey, thank you. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber, but it's like it's so oversaturated and so many people are essentially.
Everybody's just like joined in there.
Yeah.
Everybody's praying that
Everybody's like,
I thought you were an American.
Yeah.
Why are there two Asian
Thank you.
men
Can
over
I be
here?
your friend?
Hey, that's my brother.
Yes, you can be my friend. Here,
Yeah, Minecraft.
Here, I'll.
You
There you go.
Bruda dos brushy
Here, you
brushy.
take that back.
Brushy, brushy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have to
diamond
friend
shoes.
request you. Hold on.
Okay,
There.
well, guys,
You-
you know what?
There's like three here, and then
yeah,
like
looking for
there's
some
like
diamond
Oh.
shoes.
Oh my God, so much is happening right now. What's going on?
No, stop, stop, stop.
I'm gonna invite you somewhere.
Stop touching my girlfriend or I'll kill you.
Here, I'm gonna add you.
No.
You're
I don't even
cool,
know where
man.
I'm
I
going.
will
now.
take your
I'm like,
dog
I
so
don't
you
even
don't
know
have
where to
food
go.
supply for the week.
Oh
No,
shit,
just
no,
around the
don't
world.
take my dog.
Just
I want to
anywhere,
take my dog.
right?
Please, please.
Yeah,
Hey,
I will
I'm
take
gonna
your
add.
dog.
Hey, I
And
added
I'll
you
give
guys.
food.
Hey,
I will
hey,
offer
I
you
added
the
you
dog.
guys. You guys are pretty cool.
I'm the best now.
Yeah, I'm gonna add you, bro.
Cool. I just added you guys.
Because
All right. Well, this has been a fun, interesting
You
conversation.
showed the middle finger like he was 8 years old.
Oh my God. All right. Well,
You,
thank you for
I
your
shall
time.
take your penis and chop it off and feed it
Thank
to
you for
yourself.
the conversation. Yes.
Definitely. All right. And okay. All right. Bye.
Hey, do that again. I will take your dog. So you don't